The majority fade into obscurity within their own lineage. They exist, they endure, they vanish, leaving no mark, no influence, just another forgotten soul in a cemetery of the irrelevant. But you weren't meant to dissolve into history. You were meant to rise as the pinnacle of your bloodline. That demands rejecting ease, defying average, and constructing an existence so colossal, so irrefutable, that future generations either revere your name or tremble at it. This isn't about approval, it's about immortality. Machiavelli didn't scribble for the feeble. He wrote for those ready to outmaneuver, outperform, and outlive their rivals, even when those rivals bear their own surname. Your ancestors passed down a name, but you will define its legacy. So if you're done making excuses, if you're prepared to transform into the most formidable and revered incarnation of yourself, if you're determined to surpass every shadow of your past, then don't look away. This isn't merely content. It's a battle cry against every force that kept your lineage shackled. Now, let's move. To ascend, you first need to confront what you're ascending from. Your lineage's history is a tale scripted in dread, defeat, bare survival, and half measures. Your forebears didn't truly live, they merely survived. They didn't command, they complied. They didn't create dynasties, they accepted subsistence. This is your inheritance, a life's manual transmitted through hushed voices, customs, and silent expectations. Stay small, avoid attention, conform, take no risks, appreciate your crumbs. That manual dies with you. To eclipse every ancestor in your lineage, your first act must be to torch their playbook. Machiavelli would have mocked this reverence for meekness and timid inheritance. He understood what most men won't admit. Power is taken, not given. Greatness isn't handed to you. You must grab it, work for it, and build it through struggle, deception, and never-ending drive. First step, examine your past without mercy. Just like a general studies the land before fighting, you must study your family's story, not to praise it, but to pick it apart. Question yourself. When did they quit too soon? When did they pick comfort over success? Which relative wasted their talent and died full of sadness? Don't sugarcoat your past. Question it. Look for the flaws. Look for the mindless devotion. Look for the emotional traps that kept them small. Then promise yourself you won't bring that into your tomorrow. Next step, quit looking for approval. Most people don't even realize they're waiting for their parents, their friends, even their dead relatives to say it's okay. But nobody ever made history by begging for permission. Machiavelli said, "A smart leader knows when not to play fair, not to follow rules, not to be the good boy everyone likes. He must know when to be sharp, smart, and unfeeling. You won't reach the top by making everyone happy. Your breakthrough comes when you realize their yes doesn't matter, only my success does. If your family gets upset because you chose your destiny, let them. If people call you selfish or proud, even better, turn their words into your shield. Use their indifference as your fire. Step 3. Work quietly, then shock them all. Your mark on history won't come from gossip or gatherings. It's made in quiet hours. When they rest, you strategize. When they chatter, you act. When they throw time away, you turn every day into a weapon. You're not chasing paychecks or an easy life. You're creating something so powerful that your family name will be spoken with respect for ages. When you succeed, stay silent. Don't beg for praise. Let them question how you won. Let them mutter your name with jealousy and doubt. You're not just another leaf on the family tree. You're the storm that destroys the past and grows something fearsome from its ashes. Fourth step, turn your name into something unforgettable. Your ancestors passed you a name, but right now it means nothing. Your mission is to give it meaning. Connect it to success. Connect it to strength. Connect it to both fear and admiration. Make people say, "He rewrote the rules." Make your journey the example others follow. Make your existence the line that separates the ordinary from the one who shattered the cycle. This is just the start of your change. What you're creating isn't for praise. It's not for likes online. It's for that day years from now when a descendant says, "He made us extraordinary." That's real impact. That's true strength. That's what Machiavelli would admire. Now let's move forward. But first, you must face your inner weakness, that quiet servant in your mind that always follows, hesitates, and surrenders. Most never realize it exists. They believe they're free, yet remain bound by family weaknesses, stuck loving those too afraid to grasp power. That voice inside urges you to stay small, act modest, seek approval, and conform to expectations set generations ago. Machiavelli would name it plainly, a prison. Your purpose isn't to relive your parents' failures or anxieties. You weren't destined to continue their limited dreams simply because they feel comfortable. Your destiny is to rewrite what your family name stands for. This starts by tearing down, not others, but the smaller self your history built. You'll need alone time, not permanent, but enough to break free from outdated thinking. Shut out all voices feeding your weaker side. Erase all limits set by those scared to change. Only in this quiet will your true transformation start. You'll see the truth. Your family's wisdom was just shackles in disguise. Empty sayings designed to limit you. Don't reach too high. Stay cautious. Remember your roots. Wrong. Remember your roots so you can burn them to the ground. What's coming isn't transformation, it's revolution. And it requires more than work. It requires your complete surrender to the grind. Greatness isn't earned through adequacy. It's seized by doing what others call excessive. They sleep, you construct. They argue, you act. They look for omens. You become the omen. Your bloodline's poison wasn't idleness. It was hesitation, watching for luck, craving permission, hoping another would strike the match. You break this chain. You'll burn it all yourself. Turn every fiber of your being into a blade. Your mind, your discipline, your very flesh. Feeble men speak. Mighty men work quietly. You enter a space and shift the atmosphere, not with noise, but with aura. You don't want cheers. You want influence. You don't want approval. You want control. Control of your feelings. Control of your hours. Control of your legacy. Certain individuals will attempt to hold you back. Relatives, companions, even partners. They'll claim you're different. That's the goal. They'll claim you've grown cold. Excellent. Kindness is for those who aim to stay content. You're aiming to stay legendary. You are no longer required to support anyone. The unfit must drop off. That covers those who ridicule your dedication, who sneer at your concentration, who grow uneasy with your rejection of mediocrity. Their moment is over. Your lineage's future section is not a team effort. It's crafted by a single individual, and it will bear your signature, not theirs. Let them sink in diversions. Let them decay in habit. You'll turn into the anomaly, the legend, the sole name they still utter decades later when they declare, "That's when all shifted." You're not merely a person anymore. You are power. You are the restart. You are the judgment for all your family accepted. And whether they praise or damn your name means nothing. since they won't forget it. That's the sole result that counts. Your existence is now a template, a hazardous one they might copy if they possess the courage, but many won't, and that's acceptable. You're not present to motivate, you're present to conquer. The internal servant has perished, the internal king has claimed the crown. Influence is never simply what you possess, it is how people view you. Machiavelli understood that truth is formed by perspective, and perspective is formed by whoever directs the tale. The mightiest in your lineage didn't merely construct kingdoms with blades, they constructed kingdoms with legends. Your reputation is a tool solely when it bears significance in others' thoughts. If they don't trust, you are unbeatable. You're merely another person with ambitions. To turn iconic, you must initially transform into a legend unfolding. This signifies directing how others perceive you before they encounter you. It signifies transforming into the power they dread in murmurs. It signifies existing as the phantom waiting behind each choice, the immovable aura in each space. You achieve this by shaping your persona deliberately, not with falsehoods, but with chosen facts. You display might, but conceal weakness. You exhibit control, but veil your plan. You command with assurance, even while internally you're weighing each action like a chess champion making plays. Recall, Machiavelli counseled rulers to seem righteous even when they weren't. Morality, in this way, is a disguise, the facade that conceals your drive and maintains your foes unaware. Your standing is your realm's base. Guard it aggressively. Nurture it precisely. Permit whispers of your might to become stronger than truth, since occasionally the terror of what you could do outweighs what you truly do. Never let yourself become foreseeable. Should they believe they understand you, they can manipulate you. You aren't a text to be studied. You're a stronghold to be overtaken. Perfect stillness and rhythm. Talk when it benefits you. Remain silent when speech might expose you. Ensure each movement is intentional. Control lies in the particulars many ignore. Yet appearance by itself falls short. You need to navigate networks, personal, career, governmental, as a phantom, unseen yet lethal. Machiavelli instructed leaders to employ cleverness and tactics to endure unfriendly palaces. Your war zone is equally similar, be it commerce, relatives, or community. You need to master moving through hierarchies of influence to capitalize on flaws and to form partnerships that aid your purpose yet never restrict your liberty. Turn others' aspirations into weapons. Allow their avarice and jealousy to transform into your instruments. Never believe naively, yet seem reliable. Earn devotion by offering merely sufficient, then conceal your genuine aims. Your lineage's history might have shown clear conflicts and visible fights. Your journey shall be more discreet, sharper, and significantly more merciless. Recall this: immense control frequently demands immense deceit. The Machiavelli never declared morality was essential. What was essential was efficiency, the ruthless capacity to endure and conquer. You'll need to perform deeds your forebears couldn't fathom. You'll need to violate codes that were designed to stay unbroken. You'll need to embrace gambles peers deem excessively perilous, and indeed, you'll be misjudged. You'll be dreaded. You may even be despised. Excellent. For these are the signs of excellence. Your legend isn't crafted in courteous dialogues or kind grins. It is forged in bitter evenings, ruthless choices, and offerings no other soul risks taking. It is created when you select influence over approval, when you select quiet over justification, when you select the difficult road over the simple falsehood. This is the way to emerging as the mightiest your lineage has ever witnessed, not due to simplicity, but due to inevitability. Grasp this. No dominion, not even the silent ones, is constructed solo. You shall require individuals, not as peers, not as companions, but as instruments, as arms, as pawns in a match you command from the shadows. Influence now isn't merely a seat encircled by warriors. It's delicate. It's interpersonal. It lurks within coalitions, greetings, exchanged glances, and discussions in private chambers. Your conflict isn't on a war zone. It's in meeting rooms, connections, standing, and concealed motives. And to triumph in this conflict, you must perfect the craft of merciless networking. The majority form attachments via feelings. They link through openness, confidence, and the pretense of truthfulness. You shall not. For openness welcomes domination, and domination, when surrendered, is never completely regained. You shall watch. You shall study. Then, when the moment is perfect, you shall connect, not from frailty, but from calculation. Each bond is an exchange. Each encounter a power bargain. Though none voice it openly, they crave affection. Offer them allegiance. They crave approval. Offer them esteem. Yet absolutely never offer them your essence, your private reflections, your true tactics. These are holy. These are autonomous. These are secured beneath 10 veils of quiet, seem kind, seem welcoming, seem reliable, yet never embody these traits, not fully. Machiavelli stated a ruler should master duality, the fox shrewd and cautious, the lion dreaded and honored. In the domain of relationships, you must balance both, pleasant outwardly, scheming inwardly. Your intellect is a dagger they shouldn't glimpse until it's already striking. Master crafting veiled statements, facts that appear complete yet conceal gaps, tell tales that show personality yet hide purpose. Grin with genuineness, but allow your gaze to convey a different message, a shadowed one, a shielded one. Permit others to sense intimacy yet never achieve it, for familiarity breeds disorder. Individuals transform, individuals deceive, and the devoted will switch sides when their craving surpasses their thankfulness. Thus, how do you act? You satisfy that craving prudently. Provide them their desires, yet solely in portions. Render your focus seemingly deserved. Render your approval seemingly scarce. By acting thus, you transform into the wellspring of their psychological sustenance, and all who depend on you shall pause before opposing you. This isn't brutality, this is command. Render yourself indelible in others' thoughts, not by neediness, but by rarity. Be the presence that emerges solely when required. Be there when they require you, gone when they anticipate you. Permit them to pursue. Permit them to question. Permit them to hunger for your company, like air in a space gradually closing. There exists tremendous strength in being desired, and greater still in being denied. Wield their longings as weapons. Allow their aspirations to bind them to you. Allow their dreads to maintain their devotion. Yet always remember, regardless of how valuable a person seems, they remain expendable. Maintain your sentimental commitments as superficial as your tactical demands permit. For when the moment arrives to sever connections, you must act decisively. Should an individual endangers your standing, eliminate them. Should a person starts perceiving your facades, withdraw. Should one become strong enough to challenge you, shackle them with admiration, charm them with esteem, and when required, annihilate them preemptively. This is the silent law of power. Conquer or be conquered. No compromise exists. Machiavelli cautioned about sycophants, about schemers, about veiled dangers masked as allies. Yet what he omitted explicitly, what he implied for your comprehension, is that you must transform into the exact phenomenon people learn to evade. The puppeteer, the designer, the unseen force molding reality, while escaping responsibility for its evolution. This defines merciless influence, the power to mold individuals, trends, results, not via command, but via psychological exactness. They'll never grasp why they heed you, why they believe in you, why they dread failing you. Yet they shall, for you've analyzed them more thoroughly than they've examined themselves. You've offered fragments of your identity, yet insufficient to ensnare you. You've revealed a persona that's captivating, unattainable, and perpetually beyond grasp. Should disloyalty arrive, as it inevitably shall, you won't respond with feeling. You won't beg, you won't shout. You'll merely retaliate, quickly, firmly, absent remorse. For treachery isn't about possibility, but certainty. The majority deceive not from malice, but from chance. Your duty is to guarantee that crossing you appears riskier than staying faithful. Allow each individual in your sphere to sense they require you, yet never permit them to believe they possess you. For possession fosters conceit, and conceit weakens the base of your dominion. When chaos fades and your title ceases to echo in halls, the inquiry emerges. What endures? Not your belongings, not the faces who applauded near you, solely the gravity of your decisions, solely the imprint you abandoned. Machiavelli understood influence wasn't compassion recalled, but dread honored. The feeble mistake influence for popularity. The strong grasp influence as inevitable, ineluctable. Even absent, you command the space via systems you established, frameworks you controlled, and thoughts you molded to pursue your course. Though they mightn't have recognized your identity. Your impact shouldn't be gentle. It shouldn't be weakened by ease, accessibility, or endorsement. You didn't enter this world to assimilate. You arrived to reshape existence surrounding you, not through praise, but through power, through quiet that stirs crowds, through vacancy that resonates more than existence. You shouldn't seek affection. You should seek immortality. This marks where the majority falter. They crave significance, yet equally crave approval. You can't possess both. Society doesn't respect the compliant. It respects victors, rule breakers, those who enter turmoil without blinking. You exist to create something so immovable that rivals pause before murmuring your name, that your existence transforms into legend whispered in hushed tones, that you linger in the choices of the weak even remotely. You must remain the invisible power governing their caution, their doubts, their defeats. This is what Machiavelli implied with his words. To be dreaded surpasses being adored when both prove impossible. For terror establishes separation, reverence, order, whereas affection dims, terror etches a scar. Your forebears might have governed via conflict or renown or rank, yet your battle lies within. It's crueler, it's mental, it's waged via awareness, control, and tactical detachment. You aren't merely participating in the match, you're redrafting the rules. You need to transform into the icon time can't delete, not due to volume, but due to impact. You need to grow so exact, so invulnerable, that your techniques are analyzed, your plans plagiarized, your name uttered with awe and bitterness. Indeed, you shall be misjudged. They'll label you ruthless. They'll claim you're numb. They'll charge you with excessive drive, excessive detachment, excessive cunning. Permit them. They fail to perceive your vision. They fail to sense your purpose. They fail to grasp the weight of transforming beyond an identity into an influence. They crave recall for pleasantness. You crave recall for revolutionizing existence. This separates you. You tread no common road with others. You follow the way of monarchs, of strategists, of sovereigns who did more than exist. They bequeathed a master plan. You need to construct frameworks that endure beyond you, concepts that function even in your absence. You need to shape individuals, society, quiet, rhythm, all surrounding you, into tools that advance your purpose. That is remembrance. And what must you sacrifice? All. You will forfeit companions, ease, rest, purity, yet you will attain eternity. The variety that counts, not physically but mentally in others. You will persist via the dread you sparked, via the structures you established, via the dominion you built. Not through fondness, but through precision. This is no route for the gentle. This belongs to the designers of fate, to the intellects envisioning generations forward while prepared to sacrifice to manifest it. You weren't destined to merely drift through existence. You were destined to engrave upon it. Each quiet you conquered, each whisper you let circulate, each grip you exchanged with full awareness, everything converges here. To the instant when your vacancy carries greater significance than others' attendance. To the instant when your name is uttered, not simply with recollection, but with unease. Permit them to question your methods. Permit them to ponder your unbroken resolve. Permit them to claim you were excessive, for average minds invariably assault brilliance they fail to comprehend. And when society ultimately inquires about your identity, allow quiet, not from lack of words, but from their overwhelming abundance. Your myth defies description. It shall be recounted through dread, reverence, order. It shall resonate in the structures you built, in the allegiance you demanded. They'll never mention your compassion. They'll discuss your precision, your capacity to act detached, to command unapologetically, to control silently. That's what they'll recall. And when your name is uttered, it won't be merely an identifier. It'll serve as a threat, or a benchmark, or a sign based on the speaker. And that's remembrance. If you're prepared to quit seeking validation and begin crafting eternity, like this video and subscribe our channel. Send this just to people like you. Real strength lasts beyond today.